Hey yo, what is up guys, it's your boy Twa here, and this will be a video of the card game within a Lost Ark. I want to say trading card game, but it's not as much about trading. Reason for it being, yesterday I tried out some of the card game, actually messed up a lot, so I'd like you guys to not make the mistakes that I make, as well as showing you guys what kind of benefits they actually have. Now let's start off with the benefits because that makes the most sense to me, right? So if you go to the card games and check out what the rewards are that you can get from the cards, like these are all card additions, extra lives, which is also amazing because I tend to die at some point. More cards, more cards, more cards, and oh, look at that stat potion. Now, stat potions within this game are very few. You can get them from either quests, from what I know so far, and now the card game. So, why would you do this card game? Obviously, because after level 50, you won't gain extra stats aside from your normal gear and such. So, you will probably get to a cap, and this is pretty time consuming yet pretty fun. So let's get to the very basics of it. So if you press this book over here or press Alt C, then you can open your book inventory. Now if you can get yourself a card like this, you can add them to your deck and they will pop up into your deck as well, because look at this, 52 makes 53. So these are popped into my deck right now. These are cards for leveling. Let's get into that a little bit later. But let's go off with the very basics. On your right, there are two decks that you can access, or you can get a third, fourth, and such for the gold. And these decks can be changed whenever you want. Now, what you need to take into account, you have 20 point slots that you can fill up. So here I have a card that is 7. Now that means I only have spaces for smaller cards. Let's get it up to 20 like this. Now this is a 7, 3, 3, 3 plus 4 makes 20, which is the very maximum. Now if I want to go over this, so let's see if I have a few 5s here and there like this, I have 20, and even with my lowest card, which is a 1, I cannot even add that, but I can add it once I remove it. So make sure to check your very best, and you want to have like a full deck at least at the very start, because your cards will not be as strong and don't have any extra skills as of yet. Now, how do these cards actually work? So here I got myself a dude that I can play against. You have multiple things that you can play against. This is the very first difficulty, pretty easy to win with any kind of deck. The second is a little bit harder. Third is, when you start out, is a lot by luck or the badness of their deck setup. Now this third only has water kind of enemies. Now I will show to you how this actually works. So you start off your battle, and this is a blue card, but he has 42 life and 4 attack points. Now I have 4 attack points and 23 life. The meaning or the reason for me putting this card up against the other is its attribute. Now this is a lightning attribute, this is water, and if you click this on the middle, you can see like darkness beats everything but light, and lightning beats water in this case, which means that for the 2 extra stats, the 4 attack will automatically become 6. You can get a critical, but that really has to do with how your character is set up. I'm not sure how, which, or where I could read them off, like how they crit or when they crit. But that's the way it works. Now, on this card it says it has a special skill, and you can see it. Once he starts his attack, he will drain 1, and he will then attack and gets a critical at it too. Now, I know I won't win this one on a few points, but I know that if I would upgrade one of these 3 cards, then I could potentially win because of sheer elemental differences. Now, how do you upgrade these cards? It's actually fairly simple but very costly. So let's just go into here and check the second tab on your bottom left, or like your top left. Here you can see that you can upgrade some of your cards and some of you can't. Now I'm not sure where the line is, where or why you cannot, but certain cards have certain attributes, and I think it has also a lot to do with the amount of thingies of these that you have, because once you maximize the full card, you need to have either this or a blue one. I'm assuming there's a purple and even a yellow one, and then you can upgrade. Now there are upgrading cards, which are these level ones. They will give you 500 experience, and I think there are even better ones, like this one that gives you 1500, and I got two of them somewhere, and you can upgrade them by far. If you use a regular card, it's only 250, so best for it would be just put down all of your smaller green cards, which are very easily obtainable, and for that part you can upgrade them after that, because this is already 3.5k silver. Once you upgrade it after that, it's even more, so be very wise with your money, especially at the early game, because this can be very costly. Now, where to get your cards? Now, cards can either be dropped from monsters, you can get them at sea from like the barrels that float around, or you can get them from NPCs like here. So if I beat this guy onto the 4th round, I can get myself a pretty neat card, which is a blue one, and this is probably one of the ones that I really want to win. Reason for it being, this is a 1-stack card and it has 26 overall power, so that to me is really crazy, because that allows me to put down a card higher up, like into the 7 parts, which is amazing. Now, that is one of the NPCs where you can win it. Let's see if there's another one on this one. Here you can get yourself another blue one, which I already have. So these are ways where you can get your cards. Lastly, where you can get them is from your amity part. There are NPCs where if you raise your amity high enough, you can get yourself pretty fair cards. Like this has what I call an overall power of 32, which can vary differ from either elemental stats and possibly like the skill that they obtain. But you can actually get a card of the king too. Look at that. That is a yellow card, and it's look at 36, baby, and you got 4 stats, like 4 gems on the middle that you can possibly upgrade. That's the way I interpret it right now. I'm not quite sure if that is true, but this means that this card can be higher up there in the food chain. And let's see, you can also get the girl from like Asgard. This one has 35, has a 7 attack power, so this gorgeous lady is probably like really good but very hard to get. So that is the last part, where to get the cards. So all of it, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the tactics are very simple, meaning that we saw the guy onto the 3rd round and it had all water elements. Now we know that for the start it had some kind of Miyamoto Musashi kind of card. I'm not quite sure. Oh, look at that, I actually fought this guy into the Colosseum, and afterward it will be the high elf, right? So the sequence of the card is always the same on a certain round of a certain character that you can play against, meaning that you can pre-advance your card deck to win this. That makes it a lot easier, but a lot harder as well if you want to win with lesser cards, because if you have better cards you can probably just overpower all of them, but then again you'll have to put down your card deck in a certain way where you will have to win, because here we go, we got the high elf once again. The rest purely mathematical. Alright, I think that concludes the video. If you guys have any questions, make sure to ask them, but for now, you know what it is. Twabby, peace!